Testing. Hello, testing. Testing. You better speak before you talk to a king. No. Drop it live. What's going on, guys? Shout out to all my Beatbox family. What's going on, guys? I was just having a little fun. And I take it to the I haven't practiced my D-Lo and word bass that much today. Hey, how's it going, Lucas? Might be over now, but I feel it still. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Feeling, mom. Ooh. Mama, feeling, might be over now, but I feel it still. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Yeah, me too. I'm a huge fan of them, honestly. What do you want from me? Eating on my 2 2 3s now. Go to me. Like that? Or chest bass to head voice? Like, it's a, or do you mean chest voice to head voice? No, nay. You mean from throat bass to chest voice? Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's not. It's you're saying the wrong terms, Lucas. It's not chest voice to modal voice to head voice. Chest voice and modal voice are two different terms for the same register. That's the vocal register. That's the one you talk in, like hello. Head voice is an extension of your chest voice that's overlaps with your falsetto. Your falsetto is what you yodel to. So Nate, 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 Nate. I don't know if you are actually doing a chest bass or if you're just saying that you are, but River does it with throat bass, chest voice, and then falsetto. Chest bass to modal voice to head. Well, again, head voice isn't really a separate register from chest voice. It's just the upper extension of your chest voice. That's what a lot of people get confused. Like, your falsetto is what your voice switches over to when you do a yodel. So, nay. So it's really modal voice to falsetto, not modal voice to head voice. But regardless, you're doing chest bass, so it's like. Are you doing it like that? Because River doesn't use chest bass. He uses throat bass to modal voice to falsetto. If you're doing the one River does, he doesn't use chest bass, my friend. He's using throat bass. Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. Mm-hmm. No, no, no. Mm-hmm. When you wanna go home. Yep. Modal voice and chest voice are two words for the same thing. And the upper part of your chest voice, where it overlaps with your falsetto's range, is called your head voice. This is my head voice. And your falsetto is the register above your chest voice. But it's got a more breathy texture. And if you can crack your voice from your chest voice to a high voice, that's your falsetto. Because there's no crack between your head voice and your chest voice. I mean, to some people there is, but if you're cracking, that means you're switching registers. And head voice isn't a separate register. It's just still the chest voice, just the upper part of it. Your falsetto is a different register. It's a different positioning of your throat, of your true vocal cords. So that's what the very auto-tune like jump in a note is when you yodel, like when you do false yodel or sideways yodeling, like. Or just regular yodeling, like. No. Falsetto, I didn't say it was the same as the whistle register. The whistle register is above the falsetto. I just said that the falsetto is the register above the modal voice register. The head voice is just the upper extension of the modal voice or the chest voice register. Does that make sense? And when you said it's the same thing, chest bass and throat bass are the same thing, they're not. Chest bass. Oh, you do it with chest bass. I understand. So yeah, you're using the wrong terms, Lucas. But don't worry, that's what I'm trying to explain to you. So your chest voice and your head voice are the same thing. No, no, that's not true at all. Your falsetto and your whistle register are not the same thing. That's where you're confused. Your falsetto is, and your whistle register is a very whistle-like tone that your voice can do. That's even higher than your falsetto. It requires a different positioning of your throat, and it's a different register. The four registers of the human voice are vocal fry register or pulse register or strobus, chest voice or modal voice register, falsetto register, and your whistle register. That's what Mariah Carey, Ariana Grande used. That's what So-So uses. Beatness uses that. So does Mr. Android for his really high-pitched sounds. That's your whistle tone register or your whistle register. That's above your falsetto, okay, Lucas? Your falsetto is different. That's just your voice like this. Hello. Oh. Nate, 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 Nate. I'll see you tonight. Nate. Well, I'll see you tonight. I'll see you tonight. Why? You know this voice I'm using? Thank you, I appreciate it. That's your falsetto. Your head voice is not your falsetto. It's not a separate register. It's just the upper part of your chest voice register or your modal voice register. La, this is my head voice, and this is my falsetto. You see how the falsetto and the head voice are different? And if you switch between them, that's the stroke double voice. You see? So the four registers of the human voice are vocal fry, oh, your chest voice, your modal voice register, which has an upper extension called the head voice. That's kind of overlaps in the range of your falsetto. Then your falsetto, and then the whistle tone. That's okay. You actually probably do know how to do head voice. You probably just don't know it as that. With neurologically, you haven't made that association. If you can do a high pitched, if you can do a vocalized cough snare, you know, the high pitched cough snare, or just the vocal pop. That is not falsetto. That's your head voice. So you already know how to do your head voice if you can do that. If you can do it like a high pitched vocalized cough snare or a vocalized water drop. I can only do the click one really well. But some people can do a vocalized cough snare. I can't do it that way. That's that voice. That's head voice. You can't do your falsetto with those sounds. That's why those are kind of like a cheat code to tricking yourself on learning how to associate your head voice with that voice and not confusing it with your falsetto. Polyphonic voice is not with head voice or just with falsetto. It's actually with both. Polyphonic voice is something that your voice can do where it sings in two registers at once. Your head voice and your falsetto. Your head voice, like I don't know if you were here earlier apathetic when I was explaining this to Lucas, but your head voice isn't a different register. It's just an extension of your chest voice. It's the same register as your chest voice. It's just the upper part of it. That's what we call our head voice, and it overlaps in range with our falsetto. Your polyphonic voice is where you're getting your vocal cords in the position of the chest voice register. Technically, if it's a high note, like right where it breaks into falsetto, would probably be the head voice. But in this case, we're talking about the head voice and chest voice are the same thing. They're the modal voice register, okay? Your vocal cords are getting in the position where they can do both the falsetto and the modal voice register position at the same time. That's polyphonic voice, as you probably already knew. But well, the thing is, the crack. I don't know how old you are or how much experience with voice you have. I was a singer before beatboxing. I'm not a great singer or the best singer, but I know how to sing, and I sang before beatboxing, so I have a grasp of vocal registers and like yodeling and head voice versus chest voice versus falsetto voice. But the crack may just be from inexperience. So, I mean, like if you're a pubescent, then of course your voice is going to crack, like just because of hormones and stuff. But For your head voice, it's just a high. It's the same feeling as your chest voice. It's still tight like this. Whereas falsetto is whispery and breathy and open. See? You can sing the same notes in falsetto and head voice, but they sound different. There's more tension, there's more tightness in your head voice. If you can do a high pitched vocalized cough snare, like I said, Lucas, that's the best way to start training your head voice. That voice is your head voice. You can't do that with a falsetto. The position of a cough snare, it won't let you do a falsetto with the vocalized note. It'll only let you do your head voice. So if you can go, or just, I think the voice most people use for their high vocalized chest bass is also the head voice. You can do your falsetto with chest bass too, but yeah, back to what you were saying, apathetic. Yeah, the polyphonic voice. I think everyone does the polyphonic voice with falsetto and head voice, so to speak. It's really chest voice is the modal register, but it's the head voice part of your modal register. But yeah, I'm not saying you're not special, but because everyone's special, but when you're saying I do polyphonic with head voice, that's kind of the normal way to do it. I do falsetto. I mean, I can do both. And then it just sounds more whispery when you do it. I gotta warm up my polyphonic voice. I can't do whistle register at all, so I won't do a lot of comments on that. Sometimes hollowing out your throat helps getting polyphonic. Okay, weird. Can people do polyphonic with falsetto and modal falsetto head? The low polyphonic voice is more of your chest voice range of your modal register. Like the inward version of that is like the vibe bass that Mash uses. You guys ever heard that bass? The inward, the low inward polyphonic. I can't do it right now. I have a video on my TikTok. Yeah, you can do that with your lower part of your mode. Yeah, my polyphonic isn't very warmed up right now. Could people do falsetto and whistles? Yes, that's actually what So is doing. That's why his polyphonic sounds so different and really, really high. It's because he's actually using the whistle register in either his head voice or his falsetto. It's sometimes hard to tell the difference, but yeah, you don't have polyphonic voice. The phenomenon of doing two registers at once is not something that's just limited to falsetto and head voice, so to speak. You can do that with like whistle register and falsetto or whistle register and head voice. That's what So does for his. That's why it's so like squeaky. It's not the polyphonic voice that Akinde and Alex and you uses. It's a different polyphonic voice. It's using a different register. Isn't that cool? Chest voice and whistle. I don't know about chest voice and register. Whistle register is very tensed. It's like you're making a small hole at the top of your throat and the rest is open up. It's like a whistle with your vocal cords. It's very similar to the vocal fry position, actually. Uh, like when little kids scream and they go really high, boys and girls can do it. That's the whistle register. It's not something only kids can do, but it's just easier to do as a kid. And then social programming, like, kind of just prunes that behavior out of us. Uh, uh, yeah, it's like a whistle with your voice. It's crazy. Well, no, the super high thing So does is whistle register. It's the whistle tone. It's just a stab of the whistle tone. That's how high it is. He can do that inward and outward, but he does a polyphonic voice that sounds like his whistle register, but it's a polyphonic voice. It's a polyphonic voice. No, Lucas, you didn't hear me. You're not listening to me. So the high pitched thing he does is not his polyphonic voice. That's his whistle tone register. He can do that inward or outward. I think I've heard him do both. The polyphonic voice he does that's very high is that way because it has its whistle tone register as one of its components. Do you see what I'm saying? But anyways. Yo, 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 Well, I don't know if you can tell the difference between whistle register and falsetto. If you guys look up videos on YouTube of people doing tutorials on whistle tone register or examples of people singing in it, you'll be able to start learning the difference of how to uh, differentiate between falsetto and whistle register. Lucas, like you can literally look these up on YouTube. There's people who do this. There's people who teach this. There's people who collect compilations of people who can do this, just like beatbox sounds in the vocal community. I would look up examples of whistle tone register to see whether or not what you're talking about is indeed your falsetto or your whistle tone register. All I know is it sounds like a whistle and it's like way higher than falsetto. It's like the falsetto of a falsetto. What do you want from me? Eating on my 2 2 3s now. Got to agree. That just don't mean shit to me now. How should I feel? Creatures lie here, looking through the window, monster. And how should I feel? Creatures lie here, looking through the window, monster. How should I feel? Creatures do here, looking through the window, monster. How should I feel? Creatures do look through the window, through the window, my 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 window, the window, the window, 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 electric bass and subharmonic register are not poly because as people typically associate polyphonic with singing in more than one register when there's a high register note, like head voice or falsetto. I know by what I just said that yeah, technically subharmonic register bass. Yo. And maybe I'm it, cause I'm an alien. You know, electric bass. Those I wouldn't consider those polyphonic voice or polyphonic, only in the sense that they're basses. The vocal fry is a bass. As a bass, right? It's a bass. So when you add that register to your modal voice or your tight voice, which is a filter, not a register. This is still my modal voice. It's just with a certain type of tense texture, and then you can combine it with vocal fry, and you can add. And then indicators is just the third subharmonic level, which is a nasal subharmonic note and an oral subharmonic note. I know. So technically, because it's two registers at once, it would be polyphonic. Yes, technically, yes. But I think when people use the term polyphonic in beatboxing, they're only talking about the trebly voice techniques that involve two registers at once. The ones involving the bassier, the lower end vocal registers, the vocal registers go from bass to treble, vocal fry register, modal voice register, falsetto register, whistle tone register, with vocal fry being the deepest. People tend to call those basses, right? It is technically polyphonic, but it doesn't sound. There it is. It, well, it's on now. It doesn't sound ghostly and trebly like polyphonic voice does. So people don't think of it as a polyphonic voice or polyphonic bass. They think of it as just a bass. You know, people think of it as a bass, not as a polyphonic voice, even though, yes, it's two different registers at once. So technically, yes, it's the same. I would say this, Lucas. I know we're getting technical here, but just to describe it to people while still being as correct as possible, I would say subharmonic register bass and a Nels bass, electric bass. Those are phenomenon which use two registers at once, like polyphonic voice, but they are more vocal basses. They are not a polyphonic voice. The polyphonic voices or voice are treble techniques, high techniques. These are bass techniques. So maybe I'll recant my statement. Not every vocal technique that's using one or two or more registers at once is polyphonic. I mean, anything is polyphonic with two or more sounds. Like bass is polyphonic because you got your voice and your falsetto, your false chords, which are vibrating at an octave, at a fifth, which creates an octave below undertone. You know, that's polyphonic too, because my uvula is creating a note and my voice is creating a note. You know, but polyphonic voice would be like the vocal techniques which use one or more, two or more registers at once that are using the high treble registers, treble range registers. Subharmonic register and Nels bass, I would say those are also vocal techniques that use two different registers at once, but they are bass techniques, so I wouldn't say that they're polyphonic. So not all techniques that use two or more vocal registers at once, I would call them polyphonic voice. I'm sorry if I said that earlier. I recant that statement. But I will say this, that there are techniques that allow you to create a note with two registers happening at the same time or more. We don't have to call those polyphonic. We can just call those multi-register vocal techniques. But what we in beatbox world call polyphonic voice, and the polyphonic voice with the whistle register that Soso uses, the whistle tone, those are a subset of this multi-register vocal technique family that we're talking about. The polyphonic voices are a subset of that, but the subharmonic register bass and NL's electric bass are not polyphonic voice. Yeah. Shout out to where all y'all are watching us from. Let me know what country y'all are watching this from, so we can give a shout out. Cool. Obrigado. Shout out to my brothers, sisters, and diverse from Brazil. Inward vocal fry with inward falsetto. I think you can do that. I mean, I think a lot of people have when they're doing the pterodactyl kind of inward vocal fry. Bloomer does that. You know, I don't like that sound. It doesn't even hurt. It's just very noisy. And by that, I mean, there's a lot of asynchronous frequencies because there's many different frequencies all canceling each other out. That's also what distortion is for, like, you know, that's distortion. That's noise. Yeah, I would call it high inward vocal fry. Some people call it like pterodactyl inward vocal fry, but yeah, other people do it too. A lot of people do it instead of inward bass when they don't know how to. Just Lucas, if you want to see someone else doing it on a professional level, no, because pterodactyl bass, you can use that for a number of basses. Like people use that for 2H's inward bass and for just regular high vocalized inward bass. It's a stupid name. No, I would call it high inward vocal fry bass or high inward vocal fry. It's just inward vocal fry with like such tension that you're bringing in almost like an inward head voice or inward falsetto too. Bloomer in his 2017 or 2016 GBB showcase, he does that sound to begin with. So just look it up. It's probably the exact same one we're talking about. Bloomer, Bloomer. Well, that was my vibration bass. I don't know if you're talking about that. The inward vocal fry that's high, it still lacks the epiglottis, the inward chest bass, the inward bass component that makes 2H's inward bass so thick. Like I can't do it that way. That's more just single tone than double tone. But no, in high inward vocal fry is much less thick on the low end than 2H's inward bass. Just watch Pono, his tutorial on 2H's inward bass. He gives a good one. Smoke, in papers, smoking on the papers, cooking papers, working neighbors. Yeah, we lit, smoking on that paper, cooking papers, fixing neighbors. Yeah, we lit, smoking on that paper, fixing neighbors, kicking neighbors. We lit, yeah, we lit. Neighbor, neighbor, yeah, we lit, yeah, we lit, yeah, picking on neighbors, poking up, spooling up papers, picking papers, neighbors, neighbors, fixing papers, snap, facing papers, picking up, smoking on that vapors, making papers, waking neighbors, paper, on that it really depends on the bass that I need for the moment because I like all my basses in different ways. Like chest bass, it's versatile. Wow, 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 wow. Or the I love vibration bass. Throat bass was one of the first basses I learned. I'm really fascinated by the subharmonic family, though. But I really like Starsky bass because of how smooth it is. No, I forgot. I forgot the key that song is. But I really like the inward bass family too because there's so many variations. You know, it's really an extension of the chest bass family. You know, and then you're you know. But I've been lately working on hard bass. I've been trying to get hard bass. Still working on it. Smoking my paper, smoking candles, vapors, clicking papers, kissing neighbors. Yeah, we lit. Smoking my paper, kissing neighbors, we lit. Yeah, we lit. That papers, papers, kissing paper. So for throat bass, it's easy to get tired and fatigued easily, so take it slow. Be gentle on your throat and drink lots of water. I found that the more you stray away from the 50-50 ratio of your false vocal cords, those, and your normal voice, the more you stray away from the 50-50 ratio of them vibrating together in harmony, the more you end up straining yourself and needing to put more power into it to get it to activate. The truth is, the trick to throat bass is that once you've memorized how to get the feeling of the 50-50 ratio of throat bass of your false vocal cords and your true vocal cords down, you will be able to activate throat bass whenever you choose with minimal effort. And that's why people can do those crazy cool transitions like you know. You know, if you try to try to get your throat bass to where you're taking minimal push to get it to happen. Yeah, yeah. Focus on that feeling. You can try adding a whispery tone to it. That's how you get Codfish's style. The two kind of modes of throat bass are wop, yap, 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 wop, yup, 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 yup. It's very thick, like Marcus Paris. Wop, 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 wop. And then the whisper kind is like throat Codfish's. Um, no, no, yep, yep, um, 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 mm, mm, mm. Mama walk a lonely road, the only road that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's only me now. I walk alone. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. I walk alone. Now walk alone. And try getting your throat bass in as many different notes as possible. A lot of beatboxers make the mistake of only learning throat bass in one note. You know, you want to be able to do a wide range of notes in your throat bass, be able to sing in it. That's how you can get maximum comfortability with throat bass in any kind of note using. And the better your throat bass is, the more solid your vibration bass will be. Throat bass is going to sound like what it sounds like to kind of cough. Clear your throat. It'll probably sound less whispery than mine when you first start. Like lop, lop, lop. If you do this, that's slizzard bass. That's like what Vino does. It's a different bass. Darnie and Shazam's tutorial are great throat bass tutorials to check out. But essentially, it's kind of the feeling of clearing your throat, trying extending that feeling. Try vocalizing that feeling, that grit that happens when you clear your throat. I learned it by doing the emo voice, like, guys, I'm so emo, I'm so depressed, I don't want to go to school today. And the normal voice, hello, hi, hello, 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 and hello means hello, hello. You see, whop. You can do the type voice, but it might give you vibration bass instead. So, but type voice is very similar in posture to throat bass. Yo, yo, yo. Running away from the wall. Running away from the wall. Yeah, yeah. Working on my D-low and bass. I know a lot of people get slizzard bass and throat bass confused because they're in the same range and they function similarly. They feel a lot different. They sound a lot different. I'm thinking about you, baby. I'm trying to so hard. I've been thinking about you, baby. That's awesome, George. Do you have any hints or tips on people trying to learn evil bass? So with scissor bass and vocalized chest bass, the relationship between them is that you have to loosen up scissor bass, and then it'll eventually go from that's Benja's bass. It's somewhere in between scissor bass and regular vocalized chest bass. Oh, yeah, I think there is a way to do inward evil bass because there's a way to do inward hard bass. Some people think that maybe the uvula component of D-Low's inward bass is inward evil bass, but others are not so sure. Anyways, Lucas, so just loosen up your scissor bass. Try to loosen it up and stay the same note. Eventually you'll get it sounding like that. When I flow, everybody flows. When I feel, everybody feels. When I go, everybody hops. When I kill, everybody kills. That was vocalized chest bass. But you can get vocalized chest bass real low too, like collapse your neck off. You have any tips on inward evil bass, George? All right, guys. Well, I think I might be logging off now. It's getting a little late where I am. I'll do another live stream most likely tomorrow. Peace, everybody.
Yeah, George. You should definitely like talk about evil bass and the inward version if you can. Yeah, leave a comment on this video. How's it going, Beatbox Show, Rob? I'm sorry, you just got on right as soon as I was ending this stream, but I'll be doing another one soon. Okay. I have been working on my vocalized chest bass lately, though. No, evil bass is one component of Tomozakide's bass, Lucas. Tomozakide's bass is called hard bass. You can look up the tutorial he made on it. It's called Tomozakide Te Enseño el Hard Bass. Evil bass is one component of hard bass. Hard bass is comprised of chest bass and evil bass. So evil bass is like I can't really do it. You're straining your voice, you're tensing it, and then chest bass. Put them together, it's that's hard bass. That's Tomozakide's bass.